Hello, Kipsters. Hope you guys enjoyed your first recorder lesson yesterday. Today, we are going to be moving on to actually learning and how to play notes on the recorder. So, we're going to focus on three main notes today. All right, make sure you have your recorder out in your hand if you want to be cleaning your mouthpiece after every time you use it or before you use it. Make sure you have already done that by the time you watch this video so you're not getting caught up with that. But your recorder should be clean as long as you're the only one using it. Other than that, I would suggest maybe some soap and water if you want to keep it nice and cleanly up there. Okay. Again, if you have not received your recorder and you're watching this video, please try and get a way to contact me, whether that's through your homeroom teacher and they can email me, or your parent has my number, they can check Class Dojo. Please find a way so that I can get a recorder in your hands so that sooner rather than later you can be playing along with us while we watch these videos. Thank you to those of you who have already gotten their recorder for their child. And hopefully we can keep these as safe and as kept together as possible so that when we do return, we will be able to use these instruments together. So you guys should be on the video or the slide on the Nearpod that says, let's recap those notes you just watched on the video. So if you haven't gotten there yet, please go ahead and scroll your way through to this slide. The Nearpod shouldn't be that many slides before you get here. I'm going to put my timer on my phone really quickly. There we go. All right. Other than that, you guys should be ready to start. All right. Again, when I say next, you go ahead and click next on this on the Nearpod, and then you will be on the slide that I am on. If you are watching just on the YouTube video, I think that's fine, but you're going to have to make sure that you click through and do the interactive Nearpods when they do come up. All right. Moving on to the next slide. All right. So the first note we're going to learn is B note. All right. This is the note B. Remember, every good boy and the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G are the only letters that there could be. The B note is the first one the first one we are going to use or learn. Sorry. All right. And how you do a B note. So you see here, this is the thumb hole. This is the thumb hole. All right. This is the hole that our left thumb always covers. And make sure to remember when you squeeze this hole that you can get a little circle on your finger and you see the whole circle. All right. So that you know all of it is covered. All right. That's where your thumb goes. That will always be there for right now. All right. Sometimes it's not there, but for right now, that will always be there. The B note is going to be your first finger. All right. Your first finger, your index finger, that's going to be the one on top of your left hand. Do not be playing with your right hand. All right, make sure you hold that left hand up and you see an L as if you were writing it. L. All right, that's the finger that's holding this instrument up right now. All right, one finger on the top hole, on the first top hole, and your thumb on the only hole that's on the back. What I want you to do, slowly with your slow air, play the B note 4 times. It's going to sound like this. Wait for me. It's going to sound like this. Just that. That's all we're going to try to do. All right. Now, if you play too hard, it's going to sound like this. Although, yes, you made a sound out of it, it was not the right sound. Okay. It's too loud. We don't want to wake up our neighbors. We don't want to make our parents upset during work. And if this is during work, then try to find a different time where you're not disrupting. That would be also great. But if it can't be helped, then we'll figure something out together. But for now, the B note 4 times. I'm going to count it off. You play it 4 times like this. One more time. And try to get that tonguing in there. Remember when in the video yesterday it said to pretend you're saying the letter D when you're playing the instrument, when you're blowing air through it? Pretend that you're trying to say D through the instrument in your mouth and it'll sound like you're tonguing it, okay? So 4 times, I'm going to count it off and then you play the note 4 times. 1, 2, ready, go. Do it again. 1, 2, ready, go. And technically, if we remember our lessons from the past, that would just be ta, 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 ta. Try ta, 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 ta again with the B note. 1, 2, ready, go. Nice. And I played that one even quieter. So you can play as quiet as you can on this thing to make sure no one's upset. All right. Now try it on ta, ta, ti, ti, ta, like this. 1, 2, try it, go. I'll do a little bit slower. That was a little fast. Try it again. 1, 2, ready, go. Nice. Let's do it again. One more time. Ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. 1, 2, ready, go. Not bad, guys. And if you go down here on the second slide, it says to play the B note, cover the thumb hole, which we talked about, and also the top hole with the pointer finger, the finger you point at people with, if you're being nice. Index finger as well. All right. Moving on to the next slide, if you haven't already, we're going to learn the A note. Now, the A note is just one finger different than the B note. All you do is add your middle finger to the second hole. Your thumb stays, your first finger stays. Now you're just adding one more finger, and you get 2 holes on the top covered and 1 hole on the back covered, a total of 3 holes covered at the moment right now. Remember, your left hand, or your right hand, sorry, is just holding the instrument down here at the bottom for stabilization so that your fingers won't move off the keys. There won't be an extra hole leaking when you do move it. Just for stability, there is where our right hand should be doing. 2 fingers on the top now, 1 finger on the back. We're going to play the A note. It sounds like this. You see, it's lower than the first note. Here's the first note. Second note. All right, and your instrument should sound exactly like mine. Every time I'm playing 2 buttons, the same sound comes from my instrument that comes from yours. So if you hear that the note isn't the same as mine, you need to fix it. I can't be there with you to say that's not right. You have to use your own ear to say, is my instrument sounding exactly like Mr. Isaac's, or am I playing the wrong note? Okay? Think about it. Listen, use your ears. We have to adapt when we're doing this virtual learning. Okay? A note. I'm going to play it 4 times like this. Then you're going to do it 4 times on quarter notes again. Me first. 1, 2, try it, go. Sorry I didn't play with you. Do it again. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, and don't be discouraged if you keep squeaking or you keep not getting a sound out. Make sure the air is going in slowly and it's going in consistently. You're not just like you're not breathing all over the place. Making sure that your fingers are actually on the hole. You guys have tinier fingers than me. So sometimes it's easy for you to not cover the hole all the way. Do you see that small amount that's not covered in the hole right now? I'm going to make this bigger so you can see that. Right now you can see that I have a tiny amount not covered. Just a tiny amount. Look what it sounds. I'm going to try to not move my finger as much as possible. Look what it sounds like. That's with 2 fingers on top, one of them almost not covering it, and then one on the back. One more time. But if I cover it all the way, it immediately sounds correct. So you have to make sure that your fingers are always on the top. This is one of the biggest issues of young players, and I ran into the same issue. It's not something this new generation is doing. It's the biggest issue of every young player that plays a woodwind instrument. It is always hard to remember to cover this hole entirely. You're like, oh, my finger's down. It must be perfect. You have to really focus in on where your fingers are to make sure these notes come out. We're going to play it on 4 quarter notes again one more time. I'll go first. You repeat after me. Make sure you're tonguing using that D sound. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. And we're going to do that on ta, ta, ti, ti, ta now. 1, 2. I'll go first. You repeat after me. 1, 2, ready. Try it. 2, ready, go. And if you squeak, that's okay. I almost squeaked there. I'm still not the perfect recorder player ever, but I have learned how to not squeak as much. All right. 2, one more time, guys. I'm going to make it a little bit slower, and then we're going to move on to our last note for this lesson. All right. One more time. 1, 2, ready. Last time for good sake. 1, 2, ready. And remember, with any of these lessons, if you need to just redo it, repractice that section, just rewind it. That's the best part about this online is you can just rewind and everything is there for you as many times as you want it. All right, moving on to the next note. Go ahead and move on to the next slide if you're following along on your pod. The G note. All right, the G note, one of my favorite notes, I think, mainly because it just uses all three fingers and I like the sound of it, especially on clarinet. Sorry, I didn't mean to go forward. But the G note, also a little bit harder to play because it's lower. The lower notes on the instrument are harder to play. All right, it's easy to play high notes on the recorder. It is harder to play lower notes on the recorder. All right, three fingers on the top, remembering that every piece of the hole is covered. All right, every piece. You also have to start remembering how it feels to hold this correctly. My fingers know what it feels like to be evenly spaced apart because I've played clarinet so long. You see how my fingers are just like, they're evenly spaced. They know where they belong because my hand is used to being in this position. Your hand is not used to being in this position yet, but one day it very well soon will be once we play this enough. All right, so just continue to stay motivated, even though it may squeak too much and you're getting frustrated. Stay in there. All right, it is not just you, I promise. All right, I'm going to play the G note for you. It sounds like this. All right, very nice and warm and low note. I'm going to play it 4 times, and then you're going to play it 4 times with me. 1, 2, 3 covered on top, and the thumb hole in the back. 1, 2, try it, go. For some reason, I got a feeling that most of you did pretty well there, but obviously I can't know that for sure. But we're going to try it again anyways. All right, a little bit slower this time. It's going to sound like this. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. Let's try it one more time, and then we're going to change it to ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. 1, 2, quarter notes. Now try it to ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. Sounds like this. 1, 2, try it, go. And the G note is very easy to squeak. My instrument almost squeaked there like 4 times. Even though I held it together, my instrument almost squeaked there 4 times. And I'm pretty good at this instrument. So if you're squeaking, I promise you it's okay. It happens. The goal is to stay with it and to keep trying to not squeak. Maybe for this note, kind of blow a little bit more warm air. Like try to muster that warm air that's inside you and put it through this instrument very, very consistently. All right, we'll do this one more time on the G note, and then we're going to move on from there. Sounds like this. I'm going to play ta, ti, ti, ta, ta, a little bit different. One more time. Try it with me. Ready, go. Again, last time, go. Oh, that was my best one there, the last one. So we get better each time we do it. It's not because I'm trying to make you continue to do this over and over again. Repetition in music is key. Doing it over and over until we feel comfortable with it. I know some of you remember how often we did those songs in choir class because until we got it over and over, it was not comfortable yet. But when we did get it over and over and over, we were perfect at it. We did so well in our concerts and our showcases when we had them. All right. So remembering that repetition is key on this instrument. And if you need to redo it, go ahead and just put that video back a few minutes and start from the part you needed more help with. All right, moving on to the next slide. We're running low on time here, but we're going to play a couple songs together. Now, hopefully this works out to where we can play at the same time, or you can just continue to keep using this website to get more practice. But we're going to move on to the next slide. You can follow along with me on this YouTube video if you want, or you can, this didn't do right. Sorry, we're going to have to go to the next. You just go to an X out of that. And then it looks like it's not taking us to, that's okay. What we're going to do is move on to the next slide. All right. These YouTube videos that are up right now are essentially just follow along videos. Now, these might be a little harder than expected, but we're going to try it together. Minute and 26. We'll see what it's like. You follow along with the B, A, and G. Sorry about that. I wanted to like this video, but I don't like it that much. So what we're gonna do is skip past it, and then I'm going to teach you a song that I think is better. Let's see what this one sounds like, just to see. Once we're a little bit better, the reason I don't like these videos too early right now is because that we're not that great at the recorder, so it might be asking a lot of us right now, but we'll see. And then we'll see. Okay, so we may very well use these videos at some point when we're a lot better at it. The reason I don't like it too much is because it doesn't actually show you the notes. It doesn't show you the staff. It doesn't. And the other link that I had pulled up was about to, but apparently right now it's not working in this Nearpod, which is okay. We're gonna move on, but we want to be reading music as much as possible. All right, and I could try to pull it up right now. Let me see. I could probably do it. Hot cross buns, recorder, sheet music. You Google it and it's probably there. This is a free song that no one makes you pay for. It's just, maybe it'll pop up. Hopefully, you can kind of see it somewhat. Move over here. All right. And this is what Mr. Isaac would want you to be reading is this, all right? Not just like notes on the page that tells you what button to press, the actual notes on the staff. Now we're not ready for that yet. We haven't actually like sat down and tried this, but the idea or the goal is for you to be able to look at this and you to be able to play hot cross buns just because you know that every good boy, that first note is B, every good boy from the bottom. That second note, FACE, remember spaces equals face, and every good G. You should be able to know that because we spent all that time on notes, and this is where it comes in handy. So if I'm looking at this, my notes are, and you should also know that these are quarter notes and that this is a rest. Now we've done all this work before. Now's the time that it makes sense and applies, right? That's what we learn it for, so that when it comes to the actual music making, we're not falling behind on the easy stuff. It is hard to read music. I'm not saying it's easy, but this stuff we've learned. We've learned what a quarter note is. We've learned what an eighth note is. We've learned what a rest is, so we know to be quiet right there. We know that every good boy does fine, so we know the third note is a B. We know FACE, so the second space is A because that's the second letter in the word face. All right, we've learned these things, and I've gave you these tools and tricks to hopefully get you prepared better for this, and this is when it counts. I'm going to teach you hot cross buns a little bit, and then we're going to save the rest for another video, okay? So I'm going to teach you hot cross buns a little bit. Might go all the way through it, and then we'll resume tomorrow. So hot cross buns sound like this. All right. Or BAG, BAG, GGGGAAAABAG. Okay, if you're not already, you should be looking on the YouTube video because I have this pulled up right now. So I know you're supposed to be clicking back and forth. But if you're not already, look on the YouTube video and find this and see what I'm looking at right now. Again, it sounds like this. BAG, BAG. G G G G A B A G. I just kind of wanted to give you an intro onto what this song was. I'm sorry that the other videos weren't as great as I thought they were supposed to be, but we will get to those at some point when we're much, much better. As always, I have three things for you. You are kind, you are smart, you are important. I'm so looking forward to continuing these lessons with you. I think there's going to be great success. Um, I'm looking forward to the day that we can play them all together as well. Until then, enjoy your time with these instruments. You guys deserve it. Have an awesome day.